Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Red Reaction with the LFC Daytrippers. Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Liverpool 1 from the Amex. It's just finished up, and I'm getting sick and tired of this, lads. I'm being honest with you. I'm getting sick and fucking tired of it. If any small children are watching, remove them from the area right now, because this could get to the point where we'd be banned off YouTube. If you're watching and you want to come on, the link is in the description. Click the link, get into backstage, as they call it, and then I can add people in and out as we go. This show will be about 15-20 minutes on the reaction to the draw away to Brighton. First things first, I don't know, like Keith was going on about the lineup earlier, and I think he was being a bit too fair about it. When you look at the first half, like, it's a 1-1 draw, but so much fucking happens in it. So much happens in it, and it's one of those where you're going into it and you're going, yeah, a little bit patched up. Yeah, Nico Williams, Nat Phillips, the two in midfield, Minamino's in. You're looking, going, well, you never know if we can keep it tight and stuff like that. And we started off really, really well, I thought. We started off really, really sharp. We caught them once or twice with really good play, and I thought, oh, we're on it here. And I was really hoping for an early goal, because I thought that would have set us up lovely, but it wasn't to be. And, a lot of talk about Nico Williams before the game, and I have to be honest, he has a poor 45. It's just simple as that. But I'm not going to make excuses for him. He had a poor 45 minutes. He's a professional footballer. He is young. He is learning. He is being compared to Trent unrealistically. But at the end of the day, he's picked in Liverpool's first 11, and he has a poor 45. He gives away the penalty, which fortunately Brighton miss. And, we have the Salah one where he scores. He's offside. It's minimal again. Going through the game, you've got injuries. Milner's the latest one to go down. Lallana comes on and disappears after 10 minutes for Brighton. Jota scores. It has everything. Mane scores, it's offside, and then that decision at the end. It's not a penalty, but it is a penalty, if that makes sense, because no way is it a penalty. But the way things are going now, it is. It's an absolute fucking shambles. And you know what? It's going to be one where I'm going to keep going on about VAR, and people are going to get bored of it. And if you're bored, I don't blame you, but you have to keep talking about it, because every single week it's something. Every single fucking week. First, as I said, if you're in the chat, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please share it across your social media if possible. And of course, if you look in the description, there is a little link there telling you how to join, and you click on it. If you have phone, tablet, laptop, set of earphones, you should be absolutely fine. So go with it that way. Our first person I'm going to bring in is Barry Carr. Barry, a 1-1 draw, and I want to go through the first half with you, and we'll have a little bit of a look at the second half as well. But I thought Liverpool, as I said there, Barry, I thought Liverpool started very well, kind of lost their way, gets away with a penalty, and you knew come half time that they're changing something here, Barry.
First of all, good afternoon to you, Gav.
Good afternoon.
And, yeah, it's a sour taste left in the mouth once again. It's a bit of the Goodison vibes again. Felt hard done by. It's a raw deal again. But take it from the start. Yeah, the lineup was unusual. I think Keith Fletcher he described the inclusion of Nat Phillips as what will take Joel Matip out to lessen his workload. And since when is that a phrase that the Liverpool setup has put out about any player? I mean, case in point, Jorginho Wijnaldum. I mean, what the hell are they pumping into him to get 90 minutes every single game? But Nico and Nat Phillips, it's a weak right hand side as opposed to the other side, and I felt you're a little bit harsh on Nico. I think the players they still behave as if it's Trent at right back, and they tend to move away from him as if a booming crossfield pass is about to arrive. You're not going to get that from Nico Williams, and what you see from him is he's not quite got the head up as early as the starting right back. He's got this habit of taking maybe 2 touches to kill it, and he likes another touch to get out in front of him to decide what to do. So there's a bit of that going on. It's an experience, and clearly lack of time in this Liverpool football team. Uh, what
Go
what
on.
you what you what you got offered though by Brighton, a very I would say a clash of styles from their forwards. Conley was lively
Mm.
and a nuisance, and Danny Welbeck was a direct threat. So what you had for Nat Phillips and Fabinho, I think you had two styles that individually, I don't think Phillips can cope with a Conley, and also I don't think Fabinho can live with the pace of Welbeck.
It's an interesting one because although they were lively, I think Liverpool are playing into their hands a little bit. And what I mean by that is like Klopp can clearly be seen at certain stages going as if giving out about the line that we were holding, and he wasn't happy
Yeah,
about that. And that's kind of playing into their, if it's coming into Welbeck and he's holding up and you have a high line, it is giving you the chance to pop one off and you're in behind. That kind of way. And but like people are saying there, like Rodri says Jurgen was naive to put Minamino on the field for 90 minutes and take Salah off. He deserved this result. Well, Salah's only coming back, you see, from the whole COVID situation. He hasn't trained properly. He plays during the week and he's back. So they are trying to manage minutes. There's no doubt about that. Somebody, Emma Kavanagh says Nico will come good. Trent had his off days when breaking into the team. Nico's flaws accentuated because of who he's filling in for. That's a great point. But I'm not looking at Nico Williams in comparison to Trent. I'm looking at Nico Williams as a right back today, and I don't think he was good enough. And I'm not writing the lad off. I'm not saying he should never play with Liverpool again, but he wasn't good enough. There's other players that were on the pitch that maybe weren't good enough as well, and you can say that about them. I'm not writing them off either. Could you say Bobby was poor? Could Salah was poor? But you're not writing them off. You're just assessing a game as you see it. And there was another interesting one there. It was just in regards to Nico Williams. Let me see. I want to find it because it was interesting. It's gone now. It's gone, but it was really interesting. I'll try find it. But just going through the minutes, Barry. Like the penalty's a penalty. He tries to nip it away. He doesn't get there. It's a penalty. We get lucky that the penalty is missed, and you're kind of going, that's a bit of a let off after a good start, and then we kind of lose our way. What did you make of the Salah one? Because you're looking, you just don't celebrate goals anymore, Barry, do you? You just go,
no,
listen, let's just wait until they have a judicial review over this and then let us know what the result is. You'd be nearly better off doing this on Championship Manager. That's my point now at this stage.
I was chuffed to bits with the finish. I was marveling at the composure of Salah to just be so clever and think it over him with using the bobble of the ball. But absolutely, you don't even react to these things anymore. You have to wait, and often your first inkling, you sort of say to yourself, yeah, don't enjoy that one, because in all likelihood they're going to find something. And for me, not even going to contest that one. That for me is correctly overruled, and it's correctly offside by a considerable margin in this
today's
day and
ruling,
age.
yeah. But when you see it in real time, you're kind of going great goal, and then you look at it, and then it's paused, and you're going, I don't know, and then you start sticking lines on it, and it's just, I suppose it's, look, I agree with you. I think in all the rulings of today, the lines go up, he is off, you go with it. It's more I don't know, the experience of watching the game now. Where you kind of go, like literally balls are going in the net and you're going, hang on, listen, sit back here and let's see what they come up with. That kind of way. When half time came for you, Barry, Nico Williams just get pulled and they bring on Henderson and Milner moves to right back. Was that something you seen coming at half time, or were you a little bit surprised? Did you think to give him another 10 minutes to see how he get on?
I thought Manny would be first sub. I thought Manny for Minamino would have been the automatic one I would have done at halftime. I didn't see, like, as I say, I wasn't pinning a lot of the issues on Nico Williams. I was pinning it really on the issues of the combination of Nico and Nat Phillips in there. But no, he does it. He brings on Henderson, and you're clearly a better team with those two changes. Henderson going into centre mid and Milner going to right back, and all in all, it came together fairly soon after that change. So we we were more like ourselves after that change.
I thought we were. I thought we took more control. We looked more assured.
Yeah, very much more assured. Because what we were lacking in the first half was a presence in midfield. And Genie can't do it all himself. Genie was absolutely immense. He was superb again. I mean, he's stringing together performance after performance for Liverpool at the moment. But he needs help. He absolutely needs help in that position. Milner mightn't be a 2-game in a week stage fitness wise. So if you had a half in Jordan Henderson, absolutely get him on. I mean, should there be really any issues with playing Jordan Henderson? I didn't see an issue in starting him really, because if he's able to appear in training in some shape or form on Friday.
Yeah, but I suppose you know, if Jordan Henderson comes on and starts the game, maybe you want him coming into it where the opposition are a little bit more tired. And what I mean by that is that he hasn't got 90 in him. He probably doesn't. He's probably not completely match fit. But if you bring him into a game that's already, you know, 45, or I think ideally he would have went probably 60, 65. But you bring him in and people have had a half in their legs, and he's coming on, and it kind of matches her up a bit better. And as well, he is only coming back, so you have to look and go, listen, you know, you can't just lash him in for the 90. Or now maybe there's an argument to lash him in, and after 65, if we're comfortable, you take him off. But listen, they know a hell of a lot more than we do. We kind of have to look at these decisions in a certain way, particularly under the circumstances that we have them. You know, people are saying to me now, you don't take Salah off when you're playing well. Listen, it was probably pre-planned. There's a lot of stuff that goes on now with Liverpool is pre-planned because of fitness, because how they assess them, because of the data that comes back. I'm not saying I agree with Salah.
Sound there. Sorry to interrupt.
All right. I'm not saying I disagree with or agree with Salah coming off. I'd love them to stay on the whole game. But then it's kind of two sides of where you go, yeah, look, he probably just that's his limit for today, and we move on to Ajax and whoever else then. But I'm not going to go into massive detail on the game because the Fatback 4 will be back tomorrow night at 10 p.m. and we'll go through it with massive detail. But Barry, we've done 12 minutes. I'm probably going to go to about 20. But some of the decisions, the Mane header is offside. I'm happy. I'm comfortable with that. His arm is out, his head, his shoulder, everything. A load of them is offside. Great ball, great header, but it's just one of those. Isn't it? You go, just went a bit early.
Yeah, clear as day. Again, it's a good line. I think we can give credit to Brighton. You can often have a disjointed line when you play a back five. Like one of the centre backs might be tempted to go in with them or ahead of him, anticipate the run. So they do exceptionally well to hold that high line. It's something that you would compliment the best of the Liverpool defences we've seen over the last couple of years. But I think today you've seen one of the first times since his absence where you miss Virgil van Dijk and his ability to be a universal centre half. It doesn't matter what style he comes up against. He's able to face that. He's like the multi-head screwdriver. You can use him for everything. So no, it would have been a nice way to wrap up the results. 2-0 at that stage in the game would have been game over. It would have been lovely. You would have been saying to yourself, yeah, Salah going off, Mane coming on. It was the correct decision, and the manager's been paid back there in spades.
Richard says, I also think the drawing of the line for Salah's fractional offside was dodgy. To the naked eye, he's playing level all day long. That's what it looked like for me when they paused it, but then when they put the lines on it, I don't know if I can't go into all lines being dodgy. I can't. VAR upsets me too much already, Richard. I'm being honest with you. It upsets me way too much to start going into how straight lines are and how perpendicular they are to something else and parallels and all sorts of stuff. It upsets me way too much. What you're seeing with VAR is that, it's the technology is grand, but the rest is part of it. And then you have, now we're not making decisions. Now we're just passing decisions around, and where whoever it lands on, we'll see who makes it. Before we finish up though, we have to talk about this penalty, Barry. And
yes,
I'm going to be honest with you. not only the incident annoys me, the bits before it annoy me as well. You know, it's too easy into the feet from Brighton. It's too easy of a flick. You know, Robertson comes across. Is he a bit wild? Yes. Welbeck gets his toe to it. Is he in control of it? No. He's not going anywhere. For me, I have to be very careful here because under the laws of the game, it's a penalty because Robertson goes to hit the ball, misses it, kicks the guy's foot. In actual common sense, it's not. But again, like what I can't get from this, Barry, is again, referee doesn't see anything wrong. Nobody makes a big mad appeal about it. Drops out to the box. Liverpool runner up the pitch, lose, I think, and then it's like, oh, the referee is checking it. Then the VAR has a good look at it and decides that he's not going to make a decision on it either. Now, if he can't make a decision on it, it's not clear and obvious. Okay,
Yes.
so now we're away from the clearly and obvious thing. That we're going to go. Listen, Stuart, we've looked at it and we haven't got the balls to make a decision on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell you to go to the screen now and make a decision on it. Okay, it's past the parcel job. What did you think? Did you think it was a penalty in real time? Did you think it was a penalty when you seen it in VAR, or did you just think them's the rules and that's what we're going to have to live with?
I don't know how many looks I needed at it to for me to get to a penalty in today's 2020 version of what's a penalty kick. For me, Danny Welbeck is so far away from controlling the football. For me, it's not even a case where you can rule that as a foul. If anything, he's left. It's almost the equivalent. He's left his foot out to be kicked. You know the old clearance. You know the defender move where I'm just going to clear this and kick right through and meet the studs of the attacker, and it's an automatic free kick. In many ways, it's that kind of scenario where Welbeck's stretched out the length of his leg, the length of his being, to get a toe onto that ball, which then takes us out of the path of Robertson's swinging boot. It's all about intent as well, in my eyes, for these things. The intent of Andy Robertson is to smash a bouncing ball and get it out of danger because we're winning 1-0 and we're about to get out of the Amex with a tremendous 1-0 win. So you think nothing of it at the time. You see nothing at full speed. And it's only when they've slowed it right down to that few frames per second that you see it's substantial contact. In slow-mo, it doesn't even look that much of a penalty. It's super slow-mo that they get to a penalty. And you said it absolutely right. If the video assistant cannot say black and white that that's a penalty kick, how on earth do you get to clear and obvious?
Well,
how on earth do you get to turn it over territory?
Let me just tell you here, and Kevin also, and look, I love arguing VAR because I think I think it's a shambles.
Yes.
But Kev O'Sullivan says that they're told not to make the decision. Okay, they're told not to. What are they there for? If they're not making a decision, what are they there for? You see,
What are they there for?
This is moving chess pieces now. What are they? Why doesn't the referee look at that and go, "I'm going to go to the screen and look at that, lads. I don't need anyone in my ear. I've seen that. They're appealing. Let me just have a little look." And I go over, what are they there for? Because they're told now not to make decisions. Streeper K says Klopp literally asked for refs to go to the screen at Old Trafford last year. Stop being salty. It's a clear penalty. Streeper, I've said in the actual rules of today, the way it goes, it's a penalty. What I'm saying is that the process changes every single week. I'm not arguing it's not a penalty. Okay, for me, in real time, it wasn't. When I look back, the way the rules are today, it's a penalty kick because Robertson swings for the ball, gets there after Welbeck and kicks Welbeck in the foot. That's a penalty. In common sense world, it's not. But in the rules that are today, it's a penalty, Streeper. I'm not being salty about it. My whole issue is not around this actual incident. My issue is that every single week the process changes. Now I'm being told that the video assistant referee, them words are very very important. Video assistant referee. I don't know who. It doesn't matter who it was, because they're told not to make decisions now. So I want to know why he's there. I want to know
Yeah.
why he's looking at anything. I don't know why that referee isn't just going, blowing the whistle and going, I don't care who's in that van. I'm going to have a look on the screen. You see, this is the thing. The process changes every single time. And they're passing the issue now because if you remember rightly, go back a couple of months, and that happens. The referee doesn't go near the screen. He stands there and he gets told, well, Stuart, yeah, you can give the penalty. And he goes, okay. So you can argue that that's wrong. And now it's, well, we're not giving the decision. You go to the screen. So what's the delay for? Why is there a delay in this fella looking at it? Well, it shouldn't be. It should be a case of the fella in the van. Can you put this on the screen and going over to it? That's not what's happening. But we get into that in more detail later on.
Just
tomorrow.
One thing I want to say about
yeah.
one thing I want to say about the whole intrigue about going to the screen now is almost gone because you know now that it's just going to be an overturn.
That's true. McManaman says that on the commentary. And the thing, like, I don't know what's. Are they saying to him, I think that might be a penalty, but you go and have a look? Now they're putting ideas in his head, but they're not making decisions. You see, you don't. This is the problem. I've said it before and I'll say it again. VAR needs to be stopped, right? It needs to be scrapped. It needs to be done away with, and we won't be having arguments over. I've no problem with the offside stuff if they can make it better and they can make it more transparent to the viewer, okay? Because apparently what you see on screen is actually not what's seen in the VAR rooms, right? But if they can get that, that's fine. But they need to stop it. They need to get rid of all this screen stuff. They need to get rid of all this, I'm going to this van, but he's not making the decision. What they need to do is they need to look at one game of rugby union and decide that that's their model. It's extremely simple. Anything happens, they go to their video ref, it's mic'd up, they have a conversation, they make a decision, and everybody knows what's going on, except for the people on the pitch, who you can clearly go to the two captains and say, this is what's happened, this is what I've seen, this is the decision I'm making, and we move on. And that's what happens in rugby union, okay? It's a fucking shambles, and I have to caveat that with, in today's rules, the way the game is carrying on now, that's a penalty kick. But the passing of the responsibility now that just goes around and around and around in circles and ultimately brings it back to the referee, who can never be questioned over it. Never. Okay, is the issue for me. That's and I'm gonna leave it at there. Like the guy on BT, I'm gonna leave it there and then I keep going on. But the guy on BT, the referee, Walton, he says, no, I've looked at it. It's not a clear and obvious error. I can't see him giving a penalty here. Right. They go and give the penalty and they come back to him, they go, well, what happened? Well, he kind of took the context out of it and he looked and the bars were lower, and I'm kind of going, listen, will you stop fucking talking, please? It should be a simple thing of, oh, look, he's looked at it, he's kicked him, it's a penalty. None of the fucking dressing on the sides or none of this, don't dress it up, just tell us as it is, but we'll see what it is. Before we go, Barry, though, sorry, Dan J says, I'm sorry, but anyone saying that penalty is right has never played football. It's a 50-50 challenge when they both get the ball and a bit of each other. That's never been a foul anywhere on the pitch. Dan, I fully agree with you, but that's not the era we're in now. We're not in that era now. We're in the era where everything is slowed down to a millisecond. Context now is apparently taken out of it. It's put to a guy in a van that looks at it and doesn't make a decision and pass it back to a referee to look at the screen, and then he decides. And for me, listen, I'm not going to argue. I'll talk about VAR, but I'm not going to argue its merits anymore. It needs to go in the bin, and it needs to go in the bin, and needs to be taken and looked at and made a hell of a lot more transparent to people before you can even consider it being a success. And anybody that tells you, well, we're only in the second season and it'll be better now, listen, come here. It'd be like me going to work and doing fuck all tomorrow, but telling you it'll be better on Tuesday. So apparently Klopp has done a major interview afterwards and has had a right fucking go. I'm gonna go and find that as soon as as we get off here. But before we go, Barry, man of the match.
It's easy enough, I think, today. Andy Robertson.
Okay.
Didn't deserve to have the involvement to throw away the points. But no, Andy Robertson, he's been our player of the season. So
okay.
Yeah, Andy Robertson's my man of the match. Gav,
I'm gonna go with Wijnaldum. I was worried when the game started that that two midfield would struggle, and they did for a little bit. But I thought Wijnaldum was really, really good.
Yeah, he was.
He's in there, and he's in there with Milner. Milner's third game in a week. Wijnaldum's as well, but he's in there and he just keeps going and going and going, in fairness to him. So I just err on the side of Gino and Alden. Now, listen, I always watch the match back again this evening, probably before we do, or tomorrow at some stage before we do the Fat Back Four, and something might change. But it's for me, it's Wijnaldum. A couple of things before we go. Sorry, I'm after losing you. Mike O'Riordan says, I'm seriously losing interest. It's destroying the game. You're not the first person to say that to me today. And it's not, do you know what? It's not the decisions that destroy it for me, because I've made peace with what's a penalty and what's not a penalty and the offside. And they're talking about now bringing in more transparent lines in VAR, and they're talking about changing the handball rule, and they're changing this, and they're just going to keep going around in circles. But it's the actual process that's killing me, and being honest with you, absolutely killing me. Ian McLaughlin says man of the match Hendo for his 45 minutes. Kev O'Sullivan says Genie getting through some savage workload. I have a feeling me and Kev O'Sullivan are going to end up on a show.
Yes.
I think me and Kev are going to end up on a show having a polite discussion about VAR at some stage. So put that down in your in your diary for that one. There was a couple more. Emma Kavanagh had Genie man of the match. Ian McLaughlin says, do you like the idea of VAR? Not in this context in any way. I just can't see why they can't do what rugby union do. I just can't see it. That there's nothing to say they can't do it. So for me,
I would bin it in its current version right now. I really would.
Well, you can't, because the season, you can't do something that drastic within a season. But I would genuinely
a thing that the goalposts are moved on an almost constant basis. It has to be broken.
Well, you see, no, it's not even that. It's the absolute discussion around it. I'm not discussing. We're not discussing a decision here. We're discussing the process of the decision. You know what I mean? So if, like you're saying, if a fella goes to a screen, it's going to be overturned. If he has to go to that screen, it's not clear and obvious, because there's another fella looked at it and he can't tell you. You know, but then we don't know if he's making the decision. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. Tommy says that Nico Williams is a worry now. Listen, Nico Williams is a young right back who will develop into a really, really good right back, in my opinion. He is a victim of circumstance a little bit. I don't think people at the club wanted Nico Williams playing this regular or this amount of minutes per game. But that's just the way we are at the moment. Milner going out today will leave Nico Williams being probably the only option at right back as we stand. So he's a player you're going to have to get behind, but we're going to have to simplify the game for him a bit. And to simplify that, I think Henderson is massive in it, because Henderson usually sits there and protects Trent and Salah and lets them do their job, and Henderson fills in. I think Henderson will make a big difference to him. But we'll have to wait and see. Kev O'Sullivan says that VAR is going nowhere. No, it won't go anywhere. Not during the season. But I can't see why they can't look forward and go, listen, we're revamping this. Because you have to remember, they do it slightly different to what they do in Europe anyway. So why can't they just go, listen, there's 40 refs on the staff. I'm just letting you know, as of the first day of next season, you're being mic'd up, and the guy up in the booth is being mic'd up, and he'll be in the stadium, and he's going to talk to you, and you're going to have a conversation, and everyone at home is going to hear it, and then you're going to explain it to the two captains and the two managers if needs be. That's it. End of story. And then everyone is answering to the decision. Everyone is open to question, and everyone is being transparent, because we don't know what's being said. And to be honest, it's just a joke now. But look, we have to go. 28 minutes, we're well over. Barry, it's been an absolute pleasure having you, and we will talk to you again soon.
Lovely to speak to you as always, Gav.
Good stuff. Listen, that has been the Red Reaction. Brighton 1, Liverpool 1. Pleasure to come on as always. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Please like this, please share, please follow us across social media. The Fatback 4 will be on tomorrow. Manscaped update, by the way, just to let you know. And a couple of updates about our sponsors that we have coming on board, and we want you to get involved in, because we have one, and it is a betting company, but it's slightly different to everything else, and it means that we have to get involved with you, and we have to put all our thoughts together and actually go and try win some money. So watch out for that. Colossus Bets is the one, is the name of it. But we will update you tomorrow and throughout the week. That's been it. That's been the Red Reaction. Thanks for watching. Over and out.